All right, YouTube. Here is an update on my harvest here. Today's July the 5th, and this is what I have harvested this morning. Two cabbages. So those are actually looking pretty good. Everything's been rinsed off with my water hose this morning before I bring it in the house. And actually, I didn't really know how to harvest the cabbage. I didn't know if I needed a shovel to dig it up or what have you. So I just went over there, had my gloves on, and it just pulled right out the ground really easy. Over here I have cabbage and kale mixed together that I harvested this morning. And also I have a few beans, some tomatoes, and a summer squash here. Now for my squash, since I'm a new gardener, what I did was I bought like 3 squash plants, right, from Home Depot. And I planted them too close together. So there was not a lot of air circulating. So some of the squash didn't get pollinated correctly. I don't know if the bee couldn't get down in there or what the situation was. But they were planted too close together. Those type of plants, those climbers really need a lot of space if you're going to do more than one, in my opinion, as a first-time gardener. But yeah, this is my morning harvest, and I'm gonna get these in the house and clean them up real good. And I'm gonna give one of these cabbages to my mom, and I'm gonna make some tomato sauce. I do have some more tomatoes in the house that I've been harvesting. These little cherry tomatoes. When I tell you they are really sweet. Sometimes I'll come out here, and if I am watering my garden and I see some red cherry tomatoes, I go ahead and pluck me one right off the vine and eat it. It is really good. Well, this is it, YouTube. This is kind of like my first full harvest, I guess you would say, because I have been plucking these tomatoes for the last month or so, almost on a daily basis. Oh, and I did harvest some kale and fixed that with some smoked turkey wings, which is really good. My cilantro that I do have out in the garden is getting ready to go to seed. So I'm going to attempt to harvest some of those seeds. And since I pulled up that cabbage, I really need to go over there and start planting a couple of more vegetables that I can actually plant in July, and it'll be okay. So I think it's cucumbers is on the list. I think some squash is on there. So I do have some seeds in the house, and I may go ahead and start those seeds today. But I'm definitely going to be starting my fall seeds in the house, cabbage and mustards and collards. But other than that, everything else is turned out okay. For a first-time gardener, I had a few faux pas. It hasn't been really that major. Like I said, the only thing that I'm really disappointed in is how my squash is kind of turned out, because it is packed in there, and I have been cutting back some of those giant leaves to get some air circulation in there, so it's doing better. But anyway, like my last video, I said I am working on my landscaping still. I need to come out here and weed eat. I need to get rid of some of the grass that's going around the containers, and just give it a nice neat look. Now what my plans are for next year in this area, especially with my she shed, I want to go ahead on this side of the garden next year and plant a whole bunch of edible plants. Okra is a real beautiful plant. The blooms are real beautiful. So I plan on planting a bunch of that next year and freezing it. And all in here, I'm going to get some dwarf fruit trees and put them in a pot and have them just sitting out all over here near my she shed. So that's what's going on this morning. I got a couple You know what? This was some plants that I started and they got neglected, and yeah. I think one was actually this was some sort of squash or something, I'm not sure. But anyway, these are some of the leaves that I pulled off my cabbage. I'm getting ready to put those in the compost bin, and hopefully when I come back and do my next video, my landscaping will be nice and complete and it'll look a little bit better and neater out here. Right now it's just kind of like a little mini jungle out here. But anyway, if anybody's watching, I sure do appreciate it. This is Gardening with Joy. I'm a first-time gardener, and everything's looking pretty good. Let's take one more look at my harvest before I sign out. And there we go. Got my cabbages right here. A few tomatoes, a couple of beans, and some mustard and kale. If anybody watching, I sure do appreciate you. Have a good day.